Call me an idiot all you want, but I believe that getting scammed is a universal life experience. And if you think I'm blowing smoke up your ass, well, that's gross. I would never do that. After all, don't the greatest scams go entirely unnoticed? Could it not happen to you or I any day now, right under our noses? Even worse, has it happened already? We as a society tend to think of scams from a financial perspective, which is a problem because it entirely ignores half of the definition of the word. A scam is defined as a dishonest scheme to gain money or possessions from someone fraudulently, especially a complex or prolonged one. The latter half is a bit more interesting to think about, right? Complex and prolonged schemes designed to acquire people's worldly possessions. It's cinematic. In a way, it feels almost larger than life. That is, until you watch someone stick their neck out and actually do it.
My name is John Zaffis. For over 40 years, I've been helping people with their paranormal problems. I found that spirits can attach themselves to objects.
Oh my God!
And make life a living hell. My job?
What is that?
Don't touch that thing.
Find the haunted item and remove it. Because I am the haunted collector.
First premiering on the Sci-Fi Channel back in 2011, Haunted Collector took the typical approach to a paranormal investigation show and touched it inappropriately. Now look, I'm about to goof on this guy in abundance, but I cannot do that without first giving credit where credit is due. My first impression of this man was not great, okay? I can admit that. But I'm sorry, what can I say? He looks funny and he talks funny. Can't say the same for his Wikipedia page, though. Less than a minute of skimming will reveal to you that John Zaffis is the nephew of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Have you guys ever seen the Conjuring movies? Yeah, it's those people in real life. John Zaffis is literally like the Nepo baby of the paranormal investigation industry. Perhaps you saw Matt Rife just recently leased their entire museum collection and home for the next 5 years, including the infamous Annabelle doll. That thing almost definitely just killed a guy recently. Needless to say, we're not going to be dealing with Matt Rife for much longer. But guess who else has a museum filled with creepy objects that may or may not be haunted? That's right, John Zaffis, baby. Like aunt and uncle, like nephew. No, that doesn't really work. There's actually a whole documentary about his life and work called John Zaffis, The World Within. Along with an in-depth look at the museum and its history, the documentary provides us with dramatic reenactments of his past, complete with acting so flat that it sincerely feels like you're watching a porn intro.
Thank you, Mr. Zaffis, for coming. I didn't know who else I could turn to. I was very intrigued by our phone conversation. Now, have you been to a doctor about this?
While that's helpful context, it ultimately makes the content of Haunted Collector look that much more ridiculous. The show's decision to focus on one paranormal theory, in this case, inanimate object attachment, and nothing else, just feels like the perfect setup for John to go around taking people's family heirlooms for free on the basis that they're haunted. Like, am I wrong? Also, side note, his team is fucking huge. This might be the largest paranormal investigation crew I've ever seen. Look at this. Look at the way they all flood out of this mausoleum like it's a clown car. But can we truly qualify this show as a full-on scam? Well, based on initial research, that's surely what it looked like. But also, we have the video, so why don't we just go ahead and roll that clip? Why don't we roll that clip now?
I'm Joni in Sawyer, Michigan, and we're having some pretty intense activity at my house. A lot of times I get someone who's whispering to me in a very insistent, urgent kind of a whisper, and there's nobody there. A friend of mine saw the shadow figure in my bedroom while I was asleep, and it's terrifying, and I really don't want to live in a house that makes me terrified. Please come help us. We're really struggling.
I'll tell you what, Joni, I'm right there with you, sister. No one deserves to be afraid in their own home. That sounds really goddamn scary. I do have one question before we move on with this investigation, though.
A friend of mine saw the shadow figure in my bedroom while I was asleep.
What was your friend doing in your bedroom while you were asleep? That, to me, is much more concerning than the Shadow Men, okay? Like, maybe we should start there. Look at John, though. He's like, hey, happens to the best of us. Haunting or not, something or someone is going on in Joni's house. And to get to the bottom of it, the team has decided to pack up their trinkets and head to Sawyer, Michigan.
All right, guys, here we are in Sawyer, Michigan. You know, we're only about a mile from the tip of Lake Michigan. And a unique thing with Joni is she does a lot of metal detecting along Lake Michigan there. You know, she brings these items into the home, and her fiance collects a lot of antiques. So you have a lot of different items that have been brought into this home.
Okay, good to know. Hey, you mind repeating all of that one more time for the folks in the back seat? I'm sorry, but anyone who's taken a family road trip in one of these can tell you, if you're sitting in the front seat, you gotta speak up. All right, I'm back here punishing Team Plasma Grunts and crushing a Wendy's 4 for 4. Give me a reason to prioritize you. Anyway, as John was explaining, Joni is also a collector, which threw me a bit because they show up to her house, right? And she's got like 50 billion antiques. I hate to break it to you, GF, but we have a lot of work to do before we can even think about the Shadow Men.
I have had a lifelong habit of beachcombing, picking up everything I see that's just weird. And this is a gold dental bridge.
Oh, or we could start there. That works too. I gotta say, the more I learn about Joni, the more I begin to believe that her suffering is self-induced. When asked if she believes the activity began after bringing the bridge into her home, Joni claims she's never really thought about it before.
I haven't thought about whether it ties in with that.
But how can you possibly say that when the centerpiece of your living room is a glass tank filled with items that you find washed up on the beach that are, quote, just weird? How do you show that to people when they come over for the first time? Do people come over? That's a trick question, by the way. We know damn well her friend watches her while she sleeps. Oh, also, she's here. Not only that, her account of the events couldn't be more different. As she recalls, they were having a girls' night in the living room when all of a sudden, out of the corner of her eye, she saw a shadowy figure move past Joni's bedroom door. Yes, it's a small detail to get caught up on, but I feel like someone here is lying. And besides that being annoying, it just makes no sense. Moving on.
I do have another item in this room that could have some tangled history. This is a .44 revolver that was purchased by my fiance and his father back in the late 80s. What they were told is that this had been used in a suicide of a priest.
Well, it's probably not this one. Cool history, though. You don't get to say, I'm afraid to live in my own home, and then whip out the collector's edition of someone's suicide weapon. That's just not how that works. You know what's really funny about this one, though? Is the priest thing only allegedly happened. So if it's not haunted and it's unrelated to the suicide, then effectively it's just a fucking gun. She also pulled it out from her bedside drawer, which leads me to believe that she currently treats it as such. And I don't know how I feel about that from a moral standpoint. Outside of her house, Joni has a garage that is packed with more stuff than she could ever possibly need. Ever. According to her, people who spend time in this area often hear whispers outside, only to find that they're completely alone.
We have a lot of mourning jewelry.
Mourning jewelry is actually made out of the deceased loved one's hair. So it's human hair. And at the bottom here is the color black, and at the time it was the only acceptable color for this type of jewelry.
Hey, tell me something I don't know. Simple solution? Stop collecting. It's clearly not your forte. Your taste is cooked. Let's just be real for a second. If you're storing your collection of human hair jewelry in your garage, do you truly have plans for it? Don't answer that. This is more than enough information for the team to begin their base sweep of the home, a top-to-bottom inspection of the property done via EMF scanner. They use it on quite literally every single paranormal investigation show. It measures electromagnetic fields generated by, technology and appliances. The idea behind its use here is that when there's an interruption or change in the field, indicated by a spike on the meter, something ghostly is going on. It's the old reliable of paranormal investigation.
You caught me bobbing it. You caught me bobbing it. You caught me bobbing it.
You caught me watching my favorite movie ever, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, while drinking my favorite drink ever, brought to you by Olipop, the sponsor of today's video. Yeah, that's right, folks. I'm drinking Olipop's new Pineapple Paradise SpongeBob collab flavor. But what is Olipop, folks? Olipop is a new kind of soda. Nostalgic, delicious, and good for your gut. That kind of hurt. I love SpongeBob. Guys, when I was a kid, I liked SpongeBob so much that my mom grounded me from SpongeBob once. That's a real thing. I literally got grounded from SpongeBob. God. I think I'm addicted to prebiotic soda. Olipop is a prebiotic soda. Can I keep that in? Folks, best part about this collab is that there are different cans that you can collect, okay? So let's see which ones I have in here. Duh. Ugh, I don't want to ruin the casing. I'm so excited to see the SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants. Wait, is it? Yeah, it is. The SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants, only in theaters December 19th.
Yeah, we're bobbing it. We're bobbing it. Bobbing it.
I'm bobbing it. Here are the ones that you can collect.
We're bobbing it with Pirate Bob.
Maybe you guys can collect more than I did. I can help you with that because I can get you $2 off any 4-pack of Olipop. Scan the QR code or follow the link on screen to redeem this Bobby offer. This Ollie Bob offer.
All right, I'm definitely getting a reading. A reading from what? I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know, you want to get in here and move this?
Yeah.
Get to...
We did get some abnormal readings off that coffee table. Now, there's lots of different items in there, but one of note is a gold dental bridge.
Hey, I know that!
Take out.
I know about that!
If we can't-
Oh, wait, I just realized you don't even know who these people are.
My son Chris, my daughter Amy, Brian, my tech guy, Jason, my researcher, and Jesslyn, my investigator.
There you go. The only eventful part of this baseline scan takes place when Brian and Chris investigate the gun in the bedroom. Here they also decide to run an EVP test, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon. So they're basically trying to see if any of these ghosts are talking smack about Joni. Brian thinks he hears a voice say help at one point.
Is there anything in the house that belongs to you or was important to you?
Which is the furthest thing from an answer to his question, but I digress. That, along with a local news article from 1979 detailing a priest suicide, is enough evidence to convince them to take the gun to an expert.
Are you able to tell us when the gun was manufactured?
No, let me grab my book here. Well, this is a 629 right here. This gun was built in 1985, 1986 time frame.
Well, there you go. It's just a gun. Can't say I'm surprised considering your fiance's had the gun for literal decades, accident-free. Not sure why it would just start deciding to be evil gun out of nowhere, you know? Oh my God, evil gun. Hey, how's it going, man? How are you? You good? Listen, man, it was nothing bad. I wasn't talking any shit. Please, bro, please. No, please, bro, please! Perhaps the other items of interest being fragments of corpses will give the team a better lead during their nighttime investigation. Jesselyn and Jason have been tasked with interrogating the jewelry in hopes that something will trip this device called a REM pod. All of these EMF, REM, REM, whatever devices, while functional, have all been proven to be extremely sensitive and easy to trip. Usually by accident, so much as using a walkie-talkie can make this thing go bonkers. So it ultimately makes the data collection element of this total bullshit.
If you get really close to this long metal pole...
Did you hear something?
No, I saw it.
What'd you see? Was there a shadow right there?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Did you just pass in back of Jason?
There's a light source there. You sure something didn't pass from outside?
I don't know.
Guys, it's going off again! Hate to ruin the fun for you if you didn't know already, but I'd argue that this makes it a lot funnier, especially when they freak out and call John in for the final opinion. Listen to what he says.
What you got?
I saw a shadow figure and then the REM pod started going crazy.
Did you ask it any questions?
No dice when he's in the picture though, so I'm not exactly sure what the conclusion is going to be here. Was it all for nothing? Probably. That's okay, because something massive is happening in the living room.
All right, guys, I'll let you see for yourself.
What?
Whoa. Holy crap.
Play that back again. Holy, look at that. All right, well, to me, that's pretty wild, especially in that room.
Facts. Due to the activity taking place in the living room, John is now entirely convinced that the hauntings taking place on the property have something to do with, you guessed it, the dental bridge. He decides that his best course of action before making a final verdict is to take the bridge to a dentist. There, he sits down with the dentist and proceeds to gather information in the most suspicious way possible.
So, is that a real tooth that's in there?
No, it's a fixed bridge.
It's a fixed bridge. That would take a lot of force to actually get that out. Could that have possibly have gotten loosened in the mouth of a person decomposing?
Regardless, we now know that the tooth is fake, but according to the dentist, it's a fixed bridge, meaning that it probably, definitely, maybe came from a dead person. So it begs the question, what exactly do they do now? This is where the gimmick of the show really starts to take effect. What credible evidence have they gathered to suggest that this haunting is tied to the fucking dental bridge, other than one thing maybe happening in its general vicinity? The investigation work here is extraordinarily sloppy, even for a show like this, and it's proven even further by the end product.
So I need to ask you, what would you like to do with this item?
Oh. I like finding answers, and I really want that spirit to be able to be at peace and at rest. So I'll commit myself to trying to find whoever the dental bridge belonged to.
Oof, that's a swing and a miss for the haunted collector. Ooh. Question though, what the hell is wrong with Joni? She just got told that she's being haunted because she trapped a spirit inside of her coffee table in her living room. And now she wants to play the martyr? How does that make any sense? Also, have fun continuing to be haunted in the meantime while you wait to take it to the cops. That should be fun. The end reveals that she did indeed eventually hand it over to the cops and that there are no more shadow men. Was the spirit removed? Or did Joni just run out of Benadryl? I guess we'll never know. Hard to say if anyone was scammed here, but it all just feels a bit rushed, doesn't it? Well, that would probably be explained by the fact that there are 2 cases per episode! Was that a cool reveal?
Hello, John. My name is Don. I'm the Director of Operations for the St. Albans Sanatorium in Radford, Virginia. Very historical building, built in 1892, and I've been tasked for a renovation project. We've encountered many things, objects that just seem to move through the building, with people being physically assaulted.
Yeah, you can go ahead and stop right there, Don. I would have accepted this place is haunted at face value, gonna be real. I like to think that that's his office, you know? I mean, his job is so inherently spooky, right? Director of Operations at a haunted, abandoned asylum? How crazy is that? Crazy enough to go scope this place out, that's for goddamn sure. Look at this, they've downsized to a minivan in order to foster more inclusive and productive conversations. Did a little research on this asylum, and it turns out every year during Halloween, they host a ticketed haunted house. No refunds. That right there is a textbook method of pissing off ghosts in movies. It sounds like between this and the development project, these guys just want to be left alone. When the team arrives at the asylum, Don provides more details about the rather violent hauntings taking place on the property. Apparently, this security guy got chucked down a flight of stairs by a ghost, an incident that Don qualifies as somewhat frightening.
These are somewhat frightening situations we've had to deal with.
He immediately makes them walk up said stairs to the 3rd floor of the building, where the true terror resides.
Many people have very unusual experiences here, and back in September, we were doing some cleanup work, and an axe was discovered. And the axe happens to appear throughout the building. It was in the basement. It was found on the 2nd floor above the stairwell. It's been found on this floor.
Okay, so the reason I'm trying to figure out whether or not this show is a scam is because of moments like this. The people that they're helping are so unbelievably dense that it almost feels like they're being taken advantage of. An axe being used in a construction project? What do you think I am? Some kind of idiot? Yes. This theory is so dumb, even John feels the need to call it out. Impressively, however, he manages to do so in an extremely polite fashion.
This place is being restored, so it's possible that some of the workers just merely moved the axe without Don knowing about it.
Also, I love how Don so confidently retrieves and returns the axe via this hole in the wall. It seems like you'd want to keep better tabs on an allegedly teleporting haunted axe. in an abandoned asylum. The biggest elephant in the room, however, has been screaming at us the entire time, yet we've failed to listen. Sam is gay. People definitely like to come in here and hang out with their friends after hours, and they're definitely messing around with things they find, like the axe. And they're getting away with it because your security is busy getting thrown down flights of stairs. However you feel about this axe, it is worth noting that it is the only item that Dawn presents to the team ahead of the investigation, putting us in a bit of a different situation than last time. To put it simply, the lack of provided items is made up for in square footage. And while this gives them more area to work with, it opens the floor to twice as much speculation.
Now, John, this area was used for some form of medical procedures. And one of those procedures they suspect was performed in here is a lobotomy.
As the mask begins to fall during the baseline investigation, it becomes more apparent that the theory about Gay Sam and his delinquent friends is probably the closest these guys are gonna get to an answer.
Come on, man. I saw you doing pull-ups this morning. Chris.
Yeah. Toppling the safe isn't easy with 3 people. If you had a bigger group, you could probably push it over. I think what happened is some vandals probably came in here and pushed it over as a prank.
Because the usual tests aren't just coming back inconclusive, they're straight up flatlining. John and Amy do hear a crash in the wall, but honestly, what paranormal investigation show has that not happened in? At this point, I don't care if it's real or not, it's stale. And if it is real, the ghosts have absolutely no excuse for not coming up with something more creative by now. I mean, they've been around for what, hundreds, thousands of years? Dare I go on? Unfortunately, the noise still gives them something to work with in the main investigation, based on its convenient proximity to their only item, the axe.
All right, Jason, we're up here on the 3rd floor. This is the axe right here, Jay. Let's see, anything get moved? Nope.
I'll just do a quick scan here, see if we can pick anything up.
Curious if you... Nothing, Jay.
Nothing there.
Flat.
All right. Yep, there it goes. Axe out of the picture. Once again, guys, it is and always will be just an axe. Don't worry. I know what you're thinking right now. I'll say it for you. Something needs to happen sooner. This is going to get embarrassing.
Are you scaring the women?
After running tests in just about every single space in the building, including the bathrooms, the team is still no closer to completing their mission. That is until the dumbest thing ever happens. A baby monitor they've set up in the boiler room starts sending in an odd frequency. And desperate for an angle, the entire team heads down to investigate.
Bri, is that supposed to be in there?
What is it?
Wow.
What the hell is that? After hearing the baby monitor blasting these weird noises, we found this strange device. I gotta tell you, there's definitely some weird energy happening in this boiler room.
This thing is heavy as hell.
Come on, bring it out, bring it out. I don't know what this is.
What the?
Yes, I also wonder what this conveniently placed antique device is doing here in perfect condition. Let's call our dad and see what he thinks. That's what this show is starting to feel like. To make a long story short, John takes the device to a psychiatrist who, despite having no idea what he's looking at, is able to suggest the idea that it was used for some kind of electrotherapy. I believe John listened to the psychiatrist's description, heard the word electricity, stopped listening, and then made the rest up on his own.
In our research, we found that asylums, such as St. Albans, could have shocked patients against their will. This device could have been a painful reminder of that treatment.
You should not be surprised to hear that the decision is made to remove the item from the premises, but what shocked me and genuinely made me laugh out loud was the reveal at the end. I will read it to you. Since John removed the electroshock device, the activity in the boiler room has decreased. This implies that the activity, whatever that may be, is still occurring. And John has now just gone home with a pretty sweet antique. But if the antique isn't haunted, then that pretty much defeats the purpose of John collecting it. And then in that case, doesn't that mean that the entire investigation was a waste of time? And if that's the case, and I spent $3 on this episode, does that mean that I'm getting cheated out of my money, kind of? Did everyone get scammed here? Clearly, I have a lot of personal thought to do after this video, but what do you think of my, cool little setup here with the candles and stuff. Did it look cool? You guys can be honest about it. All right, so this was like Halloween video part 1, okay? And then I'm gonna have another one coming soon, and that's gonna be part 2, basically. It's completely different. It's like a more like adventure style thing. Oh, I can't spoil anything. Oh my God. As always, guys, I hope you enjoy your Halloween and dress up as something cool. Oh, this is the first video I've done since Happy Hour. Thanks to everyone who came out for Happy Hour. That was awesome. We'll do it again at some point. All right, guys, that's all I have for you this time, but until next time. Yeah, guys, while I have you, I thought maybe you could just take a look at this. No pressure to interact, just, yeah, take a look. Yeah, just gonna leave this here for you for a few more seconds. No pressure, no pressure. All right, bye.